we go.
What happened when, for those of you who don't know, I have a full-time job and I do RBG. This is what happens when you were in, I think I had a total of like 8 hours worth of meetings today. I know I started at like 7:30 this morning and recorded a podcast earlier, but don't worry, we're going to get the intro in. Editing, that's the beauty of editing when Sable forgets to hit the record button. But before we jump in to talk about community, to talk about the difference between community virtually, community in real life, I want you all to go to the chat and tell us where you're joining from. Because if we were in real life, we would all know we would be in the same city and location, but that's not where we are right now. So into the chat, are we representing East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, what cities? I'm not trying to have wars about where's the best city. I just want to know where we're at. Okay. I just want to know where we're at. So we got Houston, everything that's coming so far. Well, except for Wade, North Carolina. I've been to all the places listed so far. All right. Florida's in the house, Queens, Brooklyn, Oakland, Savannah. Brooklyn is here. And I just want to say, I don't live there anymore, but I'm from there. And my spirit will always say that. I still have a New York license. Let it be known. Let it be true. Okay, Philly, went to school in Philly. Vanessa put Brooklyn in all caps. That's right, Brooklyn. You all will always hold me down. I will always represent you. I know I said I'm not making city wars, but I'm from Brooklyn. What can you expect? So, first of all, before we talk about community, I want to ask you, what on earth led you to begin Beautiful Brown Girls?
Great question. I lived also in New York and I moved from New York to Miami. And I said, okay, how does this work in finding friends? Because I'm 30 plus, I'm not going to the clubs, I'm not doing that. And I really just want to have a network that is fun to hang around, that are like-minded women like me. So I thought back to my time in New York and how did I find friends when I was in New York? Because I moved from Florida to New York. So I had to start over in New York as well too. And my friends and I always went to brunch. We loved to kiki over brunch every weekend. That was the way we let our hair down. And I missed that camaraderie of just a fun social environment, not like I got to pull out my business card or I need to have my pitch ready. I just want to talk about where can I go get my hair done? Really?
No, because you need to know where can I go get my hair done, and I will leave with my edges, and they might even wash it before they do it. Just saying.
Exactly, and I need to know. I need people that look like me to tell me that.
Because if you don't look like me, I don't trust your recommendation.
Exactly. So once I moved from New York to South Florida and I thought back about brunch, I said, why don't I do something here in Miami to possibly meet new ladies and do a brunch? So I went on Meetup, and that's when I was like, let me try to find people I can connect with. And I didn't find a group, and it prompted me to start the Beautiful Brown Girls Brunch Club in 2010 of March.
Oh, we're about to have an anniversary. Are we celebrating?
Yeah, 12 years. Yes.
But I love that. Sometimes I feel like, especially now with Forbes and not so much Times, but Business Insider and certain publications, we're always hearing about the tech founder, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's the tech founder who found a need and they got VC capital, which doesn't typically happen for Black folks, much less Black women. Sure. Let's just throw that in there. And then, they had their first round of funding. Oh, we got 5 million, 10 million. And now we have another app on our phone to do something. Or, another tech resource. Like right now, all of the Affirms, where you can like break your payment down. Like that just blew up. If you ain't got stocks in the air, for the record, do you think? But you ain't heard that from me. But like, you don't hear stories necessarily of someone who started a community. They're almost not valued in the same way, because how do you put a monetary value, whether it be stock or something else, to someone's actual community? So when you had the first brunch, did you ever, let me rephrase, at what point did you go, oh, this can grow into something bigger? Because don't you have like 52 chapters?
We have 34 chapters.
Oh, so I'm speaking more into existence. I understand now. I understand.
No, but our goal is to grow chapters. We have 34 chapters and we have 58,000 members across the globe. But at that first brunch, it was so interesting because I was nervous. I'm like, there's people on the internet. Think back 12 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's not safe. I would like, send me a picture of your shoes. Let me see your outfit. Airdrop me.
Exactly. It's like, who's about to show up? And it's so funny. My aunt, who I love to death, she's like my best friend. She said, I'm going to come with you because I don't know these people who's going to show up and I want to make sure you're okay.
Right. Yeah.
Come on. If no one shows up, you and I will have brunch together. But we had about 12 ladies show up on our first brunch. And we literally sat in that restaurant for 3 hours, just laughing, talking, having a great time. And that really piqued my interest of there's more people like me looking for that friend and trying to find an easy way to make that connection. And that's really what kind of like sparked of like, let's try this another month and see how it goes. And we started off like that.
I love that because when I think about friendship circles, so many of them are forged in high school or in college, if you went to college. And maybe, just maybe, in like your first quote unquote, big adult job. And then if you're a woman, you blink and you're 25, which is young. It's not old at all. And then you blink and you're 30. And if you find yourself moving, these friendships are congealed. These circles are strong. And you're like, how do I find a new circle? Like, not that I'm abandoning my circle, but if my circle is in Brooklyn and now I'm in Houston, that's a lot of frequent flyer miles. You know what I'm saying?
I still need some support right here with me.
Support with me. Like, you can FaceTime me. We have, well, who's going to hug me? And who's going to be like, sis, you went out with who? Don't do that again. Don't do that again. That sort of thing. And just that honest difficulty in breaking the ice to go like, hey, I need a new friend.
Right. And that is the biggest hurdle that we find with Beautiful Brown Girls. It's unconventional. This is not normal where I'm going to a meetup to find a friend. You feel like, am I stupid? Are they going to laugh at me? We have so many members who finally show up and have said, I followed you guys for so long. I just been so nervous to come. And I'm like,
awkward.
It is true. It's an awkward feeling. But that first step is what it takes to say, I know I need to find my people. I know I need a support system. And making that first step and showing up, we always make sure everyone who comes feels welcomed from out the gate. Hey, whatever their name is, like, I see you. And that kind of lets people guard down right off the bat when they're like, oh, they know my name, they're welcoming me, and then that kind of gets the conversation going too.
I can testify to this because one of the very first events that Real Brown Girls did, so this might have been 2015, we called it was a brunch because we were like, okay, how are we gonna get the people out? It was a brunch and we were in your face with it. The name of the brunch was I Need New Friends. So off the bat, if you talk about awkward, because it's like, how are you going to get people to show up? Are they going to be comfortable? Well, if you paid for a ticket for something called I Need New Friends, we already didn't cut through the noise of why you showed up. Because, well, I knew the name and you knew the name and we're both here. And just like yours, we were there for 3 hours. I was so happy the restaurant was kind because, some restaurants are trying to kick you out. They're like,
time to go.
Time to go. But at one point I was like, well, y'all could stay here, but I'm gonna go home. And just let me know y'all get home safe because I can't stay here no more. I'm hungry again. We've eaten and I'm hungry again.
I have had many brunch events where I eat again after brunch because we stayed so long. And then a group of us are like, okay, let's go have some more drinks afterwards. It's like the full day.
You literally do. If you attend one of these events, whether it's a Beautiful Brown Girls brunch, whether it's RBG or just another space, please don't make plans directly after. It's not going to work. If you have children, I'd advise you to secure childcare as much as you can, and give them a little extra hug when you get home to pick that baby up, or just transfer because they was at your house. Because seriously, first of all, you're going to be hungry again, and then you might end up like, you're not club hopping at that point anymore. You're like restaurant hopping.
And you just want to spend more time with like-minded people. When you find that feel good, environment, it's like, I need to sit in this for a minute. We have so much commotion happening to us on a day-to-day, work, moms, wives, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, this is our moment to put ourselves first, and we make the best of it as much as we can.
So, I'm gonna pretend I'm showing up to the brunch, and I got cute for y'all, okay? I put on a heel. I got pajama pants on right now. To be clear, they are Christmas pajama pants, okay? I'm keeping with the season and the spirit. And I connect with someone, and we keep key, we laugh, we exchange Instagram and Twitter and all other things. We're not on LinkedIn because we're not really here for that, at least not initially. And right. What I have found for some people is bridging. It's like, how do you bridge that gap between initial meeting and actually beginning the forging of a long-term relationship? Because people are like, oh, we had such a good time. Well, did you hit her up after? Oh, well, I had laundry and then my baby got sick. And these are all accurate. These are all true things. But what have you seen worked between I met you, there was a vibe, and we enjoyed each other's company and wanted to hang out again, that didn't necessarily have to be orchestrated by beautiful brown girls, and to the point where it's like, will you be my maid of honor? Will you be the godmother of my child? Like, how have you seen that gap be bridged?
A few ways. And I will say a few of my best friends are ladies I met and beautiful brown girls that we are best friends to this day. We basically do a few things. One is at brunch, all of our community organizers are trained to be dot connectors, is what we call it, because you're already nervous. So you may not be, talking a lot, but we want to make sure we break the ice and actually have you talk with someone. So our community organizers go above and beyond to create connections and conversations at brunch itself. We always encourage ladies, pull out your phones. What's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? Let's follow each other, because that's the easiest low hanging fruit, because people won't even email, but they'll follow you on Facebook and they'll start liking some posts.
They'll be like, yes, curls,
Exactly. It takes time to build that trust. We don't expect people to out the gate find their best friends on the first time. So we always encourage to say, connect with us in our members community. So we have a virtual members community that keeps the ladies connected after brunch. We have a lot of outside meetups as well too that we continuously do outside of brunch to keep the ladies connected. But we did notice a lot of ladies just kept coming back every month, even if they didn't talk to the ladies within that whole month. They look forward to seeing that person next month, and that just built on that foundation for friendship. So that's really what it is, creating the environment that we are connecting. Exactly.
It's funny that you say that, because when I think about a few of my close friends now, they all came to like the third installation of the I Need Friends brunch. And when you're hosting, you're doing your thing. I'm not designing this with the goal of meeting a friend or making a friend. I'm trying to make sure that folks are connecting. And we've had different strategies to get folks to connect as well. Right. And then in the midst of this, somehow I realized I done gave them my number and they didn't check on me. And then I'm like, I didn't speak to you in 3 weeks and I didn't check on you. Next thing we know, we scheduling a thing, we saying happy birthday. I'm like, oh, you wanted, I saw this, I thought of you. And then now it's like 6 years later, I'm like, oh, hey, sis, And I didn't watch your baby grow up and they calling me auntie. I'm like, I don't even know how we got here, but we here and I love it and I appreciate it and I needed it, because why would I do it? I need new friends brunch if I wasn't trying to get a new friend too.
And friendship is organic at the end of the day. You have to still mesh well with this person. So we want to make sure that you're finding the person that fits for you. And that takes time.
Yes. Can you repeat that?
Friendship takes time to build. You don't mesh with everyone. You find the ones that do work and you slowly build that trust with each other.
It takes time. Think about high school, like I was mentioning before, you were with them for 4 years. If you went to college, 4-year university, you were there for 4 years. Think about your drunk nights, your party nights, your study nights,
right?
Tech center nights, like different nights. You built trust over time, but you had more time because in theory, you were 18 or 20 or 14 with like no responsibilities or just less responsibilities than you have now. So it's like, if you kind of look at it that way, it took that much time. Now you have less time. We could build this trust. It's just gonna take a while. I love what Nikki threw into the chat. She said, it's just like dating. It takes time to figure out if y'all are a friendship match. That's so true. Sometimes on the first date, and then sometimes you're like, I don't know why I'm here. Never again. It's
very true.
Sometimes it's the second, third, or fourth, but giving yourself the time to create that friendship match. Okay. So we have community. You have forged this online. You have forged this in real life for literally thousands and thousands of women. How do you make sure that your personal community is strong as you're like holding up and managing this relationship, trust building for loads of women that are, utilizing, rightfully so, and I love it, the infrastructure that you've created?
That's a great question, because I struggled with that in the beginning. So I'm setting up all of these brunch events and it's like everyone wants to be my friend, and it's like wait, I just want to create the environment for friendship, and I'm a little overwhelmed as well too. Like, I love y'all, but I'm not the friendship match for everybody.
And I can't be everybody's friend.
Exactly. So in the beginning, I really had to be clear within myself. A lot of our verbiage content all resonates with things come back to self. Your friendships start with self and what you want as a friend and who you want as a friend, and being clear on that. But then also for me, because I was seeing that so many people were trying to still reach out to me, and I felt bad at a point because I'm like, oh, I didn't text her back. I didn't call her. I was like, this is too much. Exactly. So at brunch, I would remove myself from the table and make sure I'm consistently moving around the room, connecting people, hearing, oh, so-and-so likes this. Let me move her with
meet this person.
Yeah, you need to meet so-and-so. Did you get her number? So that they weren't all like number. Exactly. So that helped me maintain not getting overwhelmed, but then I met a lot of my friends through Beautiful Brown Girls. So at a certain point, we see people come and go.
Yeah.
And that's okay with us, because the whole point is you found your tribe, you found your circle, you're good with that. That's okay. We're here if you want to work on personal growth as well too for you, but it doesn't only have to be reconnecting you with friends. So that once I made my tribe, they consistently came and helped out at brunches and things like that too. That kind of kept me away from all of the being immersed as the main person. Like they showed up for me as a friend and was like, yeah, girl, I love these brunches. I'll become a co-organizer and help you. Like, and having them there support me through that really helps me continuously keep this going, because they know the mission, they understand what we're trying to do, and they've come through Beautiful Brown Girls. So we've had ladies come and go, and that's the same with my personal friends through Beautiful Brown Girls, but they still know what the mission is all about, and they're always there to hold me down. But I had to get clear myself of what this really was, and it wasn't be Christina's friend only, and then make the proper boundaries for myself that I'm being able to show up for everyone else.
And it's so true. I don't think that people realize, who aren't either in this space of just public events, or having a large following, whether that be on social media or, you know, in another capacity, that if you allow it, you could almost become a de facto celebrity. So it's like, you're not a celebrity in real life. Like, no one
right.
is not skipping
at all
at the airport. When I go into Nordstrom's, I'm not getting special attention. But because of, you know, like I said, you have that following, you participate in very public things, people can also confuse that with different things. It's like, even if I really, really deep down in my heart wanted to, I don't have the capacity to be 1,000 people's best friend. I would be the worst friend on the face of the planet. It's not possible when I'm convinced that dishes in laundry make babies. Because they're always here. It's like, I just did a load. Why are you here again? I love that. What are some examples? So we mentioned brunches, and you said outside of the brunches, there are different ways that you provide connections for folks virtually. What are some examples of that? And then we're going to talk about one that's coming up that we're partnering between the two of us. But what are some of the things that the girls getting into?
Yeah, so our virtual community was birthed through COVID. We were purely in person prior to that, and COVID happened, and we're like, okay, we need to figure out how to keep people connected, because at the core of everything, it's all about connection and having a support system. And we needed that more than ever before now than then. So luckily, prior to COVID, we did try to look into how can we do virtual, and we started doing live streams on our Facebook page. So we have our Facebook live streams where we talk. One show is called Brown Versations, and that is where we are talking about the issues that's happening within the Black and Brown community. I was like, we need a space that is a lot happening. I mean, racial injustice, social injustice. Let's talk about it and have actionable steps. So we do our Facebook live stream every other Monday at 8 p.m. But when COVID happened, we said we still need to connect virtually. And we do 2 virtual meetups. One is called Hey Beautiful. Hey beautiful. That puts a smile on everybody's face. That's why we love it. Hey beautiful. That's our calling every time that we talk to each other. And that's really, we do it regionally. So we have one for the Northeast, one for Southeast, one for Midwest, one for West.
Cultural geography differences. Yeah.
And it keeps ladies still connecting within their locations a bit. Yeah. So you may have someone that's a few states over, or someone right in your backyard. You never know. But that was our way in lieu of brunch to say, hey, let's still get on a Zoom together and talk through things. And it's fun, just like if it was brunch. We do icebreakers, we do interactive games. We always have a wellness discussion topic, because wellness is always at the top of our minds for Black women, especially now. So it's just a place to encourage each other, empower each other. So outside of Hey Beautiful, we have one other virtual meetup called Sister Circles. And Sister Circles, I know, and that's exactly what it is. We are diving deep into our emotional connections with each other. So we are journaling, meditation happens. We do also another wellness topic, but we go deep into it. Let's talk about our financial wellness. Let's have an expert on. Let's answer some of your questions, because all of this stuff is stuff we can't just put aside. It's just important that wellness in all aspects of our lives needs to be talked about. So those 2 virtual meetups really help us to keep the ladies connected, even though we aren't meeting in person as much as we were before. We are meeting in person, but they're much smaller groups.
Yeah.
Till we can get larger groups in person.
This pandemic, or as the internet says, well, the Black end part of the internet, the what is it, Panda? Shoot, now I'm forgetting.
The Ponderosa.
Yeah, don't take my Black card, y'all. I worked all day. What is it? It starts with a P. I know this for a fact. I definitely, navigating has been all but fun. What I will say, like listening to you in the different spaces that you've created, and I'm like just tying it back to community and forging long-lasting relationships. When you like think about your closest friends that at some point you're like, friends, that's my sister. Like we're family, et cetera, et cetera. They're the folks that you're not walking around like, and my net worth is blah, blah. You're like, okay, so you seem to know a lot about getting out of this credit card debt. Can you help me out? Like you go to those places that some of us have been taught you don't share that with anyone outside of your household or even people in your household. To get that like bond, I'll fly to you, drop everything, come to you, wipe the snot from your nose. To get that bond, we're talking about all the things.
It's being honest, being transparent,
vulnerable.
Exactly. And we've had ladies on those calls who are just like, listen, I've had a hard day and I'm just here to have a laugh and I appreciate it. And that's real life.
That's real. Like, I'm not here to be sophisticated right now. I'm here to giggle if possible, because today was a day. And that was that. Oh man. Okay. So one thing I want to say before I forget, but I'm going to bring this up in the end again. Because of Christina, and RBG has never done this for the record, we are doing a joint event of a virtual makeup class for all of us who work at places where we're still virtual, but they really want to see your face on WebEx, Teams, Zooms, Google Meet, and all the other ones that exist in the world. And for the most part, you can show up and you're all natural, but every now and then you're like, oh, okay, based on audience, I'm going to zhuzh it up a bit. Or you wake up and you go, I'm going to zhuzh for myself today. We're having a virtual makeup class. Christina, talk to us about this class.
Yeah, and I'm going to drop the link into the chat too. So outside of our regular scheduled virtual meetups, we like to throw in a bunch of just fun stuff. We've done cooking classes, we've done cocktail classes, and all kinds of things. And this is, like she said, another way to just stay connected in a very fun social environment. So we will have the amazing celebrity makeup artist.
I'm excited for this.
Yes, Miss Kim Roxy. She is the owner of Lamique Beauty, and she is well known as the brow expert. She will be showing us how to get our face ready for these kind of Zooms and virtual events in 10 minutes. So we won't have to do too much, but she's going to show us,
but excited,
including our brows. And we know, like, I mean, I'm over Zoom. I'm sick of it. I'm at the point where I don't want to be on anymore, but I'm on Zoom every day and I'm on Zoom with my face every day. And I really want to show up,
show up. And sometimes I want to show out.
And it doesn't even have to be for Zoom. This can, like you said, be for yourself. You that day. Exactly. But it'll just be Kim walking us through our own makeup items that we have and how we can best utilize them to do a quick face and we're gone. We'll have some fun games, of course. It'll be times where we will be able to connect with the participants. So you'll be able to still connect with all the ladies that are attending. And it's just a fun virtual event that is still a way to keep us connected, but a fun outcome at the end, learning about
I feel like makeup. I should take a before and after. The before might look better than the after. Y'all, I got my makeup done for an event like 2 weeks ago. I don't even think that. And my friend, she's a professional makeup artist, but she did it for that. And she was like, Sable, what makeup do you have? I was like, I'm going to text you a picture of what I have later. And I text her phone. She's like, I can't with you. She was like, but I respect it because you're consistent. Like, someone mentioned something. I was like, what is that? What do you even do with that? So what I'm
saying, same as me. That is me as well.
Like, you want me to too much. But what I can say, if you are anything like Christina and myself, you ain't got to go to Sephora and drop $150 to participate in this class. You can use what you already got in the house, because that is my ministry. Your ministry might be far more sophisticated than our ministry, but if you are a part of our ministry, first of all, welcome to the congregation. Second of all, you ain't got to go shopping to participate.
And you'll learn the bare bones, the basics. I mean, I struggle with the basics half the time. So just having the basics.
It won't get more sophisticated than this. The only thing that will change is the lip color.
Yeah.
And I only got about 4, okay? There's not much difference. Okay, so we're having these events, we're connecting. And you mentioned the word honesty, transparency, and I threw in the word vulnerability. And I just want to take us there, if you'll allow me. But I'm seeing, and I've seen this for a while, this isn't new for the record, but there's loads of talk about right now Black women resting. And you don't have to you earn rest. You don't need to deserve rest. That rest is your human right. If you follow the Nat Bishop, well, the Nat Ministry, I call it Bishop, the Nat Ministry on Instagram or Twitter, then some of this verbiage is not new to you. How am I connecting this to friendship? Well, there's also the trope or stereotype, whichever word you prefer to use, of the strong Black woman. And then there's the stereotype that women in general don't know how to be friends with each other. And then layer on the racial identity of Black women. And then first of all, we're mean bitchs, ES, and we really don't know how to be friends with each other. So I say all that to say, how do you encourage people who might have internalized some of these beliefs of not deserving rest, always have to be productive, always have to work, must be strong, to show up honest, transparent, and vulnerable, to get to a place where you can call your friend and they can hear it in your voice and drop everything and come to you?
Yeah, that's hard. It's not easy. I believe that a lot of the intention all of the intention really starts with the person facilitating the brunch. So I was going to say organizer, but with you, when we do a brunch, all of our organizers are trained to give permission, because if they see that you are doing it, if you've laid out that foundation that this is this environment here, you have now given them that permission to say, it's okay that I'm at brunch every month. That's fine. It's okay that I could take time for myself. That's okay. But a lot of Black women, unfortunately, we need the permission for someone to say it's okay, because we're nervous that it's going to be looked at as a negative thing. Oh, she's lazy. Oh, she should be doing something with herself. And it's like, no. In this bubble, in this environment, in this sacred space, is okay. And we set that tone from the beginning in every piece of content that they receive from Beautiful Brown Girls, from every conversation they may have with the Beautiful Brown Girls team members. And if you have been to a brunch or are a Beautiful Brown Girl, please shout it out in the chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. But yes, that is what we start with: setting the tone, setting the intention, and creating our own safe space. It's so funny, in the beginning, when I was first starting Beautiful Brown Girls, I met with a brand strategist, and they ask you all these things, but what do you want it to be? This, that, and
feel like.
Yeah. And it's interesting because this whole safe space word is this big boom now, but I said, I want it to be a safe space. And she said, well, it sounds like it's a domestic violence shelter. And I said, it is trauma. We've been through trauma.
But why does safety have to be associated with violence?
It's just a disconnect sometimes with people who are not people of color.
I was like, was she white?
It's okay. But what I learned is that we all view things through different lenses, and that's okay. True. But when she said that, even to this day, I'm like, we are living traumatic events consistently.
I mean,
and
we
yes,
were born in a trauma.
we need a safe space.
Like, what you mean? But even then, why does my safe space have to be associated with someone beating me?
Exactly. So we have created a bubble, really, of when you walk into this environment, everything you see, feel, touch, interact with will give you the permission to be yourself and also be okay with taking time for yourself. So that's our message consistently to all of our members.
I love this idea of giving permission, because if we were to enter utopia, I would say, I don't want anyone to need permission, seek permission, or have to give permission. I want it to be embodied, internalized, that you take care of you, you do what you need to do. But that's not the world that we live in. And sometimes you have to give someone space to say, like, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. And that's when they say, oh, okay, I can tell you this. And it's just okay.
Yeah, maybe you had a fantastic day. Maybe you fantasized about murder because someone took you there, and you composed yourself because you needed your job, but you really, really, really wanted to cuss them out. It's okay to go, and we're like, well, yeah, we've been there. Oh man, it's okay to not be okay. That must be
and what we hear from a lot of members, a lot in the members community, is that they are happy that they aren't the only one going through these same things. Like, they'll talk about their things, and so many ladies will be like, girl, yes, me too. It's like, we all going through this. Let's empower each other to get through it together, alive and sane.
Yeah. And I'm sure if I were like a psychotherapist or had deeper knowledge in that space, I would have a very richer and even like critical viewpoint on this. But so mine is very much superficial in surface level, but just by nature of America, North America, but the US in particular, being such an individualized society. So even if you're Black or from an indigenous community, a Hispanic community, like whatever the community might be that's not predominantly white, hegemonic white culture, you still internalize those ways of being. So even if you believe in the collective and you believe in community, we were still raised here. And that still seeps into you, you know, whether you're conscious of it or not. And you find yourself thinking, I'm the only one going through this. It's like, it's not possible, numerically speaking.
True.
And being able to hear someone go, me too, the power in that.
Yeah.
So what's next for Beautiful Brown Girls?
Oh, we've done a lot.
I
know. What is next? Our goal for this year is to bring our virtual community into a social networking app. So think of the Facebook for Black women, but Beautiful Brown Girls. Currently, our members community is hosted on a third-party platform, but we are raising funds to white label that, so that on the App Store, you're downloading the Beautiful Brown Girls app and creating our own special place for connection, empowerment, and growth with like-minded ladies. Are you crowdfunding this? We did crowdfund. Okay. Our crowdfund ended on the end of December, but it has been an ongoing thing from grants that have also been gifted to us. But there is opportunity to give us donations. How do we donate to this? On our website, Beautiful Brown Girls. We're mini VCs in this moment. We could be like a VC. You can, the way to support is a few ways. One, become a member. Beautifulbrowngirls.com. It is $25 annually. That covers the entire year. You pay that in a night out, with friends. So Not New York, that's a drink. Yeah, you pay that in real. That's guacamole. It's ridiculous. So you can use $25 and be a part of this community that allows you to connect with other ladies locally and globally. You can also just give a donation. If you go to our website as well too, and go to cart, you'll see a little button that says add donation, and you could just put whatever is on your heart to provide. We appreciate it, and that's also another way to support. But a big support is just also showing up to our events as well too. If you're in an area where there's a brunch club chapter, and you can find all of our chapters on our website as well too, joining and showing up, telling a friend, that's may not be currency, but it's still currency in our eyes of spreading the word and amplifying our mission.
I love that. Go support, do what you have to do, add it to your spreadsheet if that's how you manage things. I'm just QuickBooks, whatever you got, do what you can when you can. As you were talking, I was pretending that I'm a really good multitasker. I'm not, but I know no one is. So I don't feel bad.
It's okay.
Right? And Natasha put into the chat, I'm just going to read it. I don't want to try and summarize because it's not really long. Transparency is so important because so many of us wear the mask that we don't realize that someone may be going through the same thing, and we can support one another. I'm over toxic positivity about real issues.
Yeah.
I just want to underscore what the people say in corporate. I just want to double click that. I just want to +1 that. That last line about being over toxic positivity, because I'm seeing it a little bit less now, but there was a point when you went online and everything was like, glow, manifest, nothing's wrong, all is well. And it was just like, what is wrong with you people?
What world are you living in? It's not mine.
It's just like, I literally couldn't understand, but I talked about it in private chats with friends, not so much publicly. I did in very micro ways via RBG, but it was definitely an interesting place to be for a time. Now we're all working through trauma, which I don't have any issues with. It's interesting to see like the waves and trends when we've been on social media and our capacity for a while. But I would just love to hear quickly, like your thoughts on this whole, can we just be real with each other and stop pretending that all is well? And I woke up happy every day for an entire decade straight.
Exactly. I feel like the message is, what happens is the toxic positivity is an issue because it never gets to the root of the problem. We can continue glazing over, sis, you got it, it's gonna work out. But it's like, wait, sis, maybe you the problem, and let's start there.
I wasn't ready for that.
It could be honest truth.
Possibility. Or it's like finance things where I see, and I really hate that this is completely side tangent, but I'll be like, and we're gonna manifest and we're gonna claim, a $50,000 bump in your salary. And it's like, I'm not saying that's not possible, but there's steps to that. I'm all for speaking it into existence, but after it's been spoken, there's things that need to happen and things that need to be done, or you're just talking.
Exactly. And the thing with that I continue to go back to is it will always start and end with self. We have to work on our problems. If we want friendships, if we want anything, if we want to manifest anything, it starts here. What is whole within you? Where are the areas you need to work on to really do the work, and that's what we're always about. That's why we started Sister Circles, because we could talk about it all we want, but doing the work and actually applying it is a whole different thing. And so for Sister Circles, exactly, if we're talking about a wellness topic that requires journaling, hey, y'all, we're putting 10 minutes on and playing some music. Grab your papers. We're going to sit here and actually write together and journal. Right. Exactly. But it's just like creating that space for the work to actually happen, because we talk about all the things that should be happening, and it's just finding that space is hard. Life is happening, but we want to be intentional in creating spaces to do the work.
And I think It's everything you just said, and recognizing when is something a personal individual problem, and when is something a structural systematic problem.
Yeah.
Like, it is one, we cannot budget, because I'm thinking about like the gender equity pay gap, all that jazz. Black women cannot budget themselves into pay equity. Y'all need to pay us what we're worth. You can give me all the spreadsheets in the world, and I can learn all the personal finance, blah, blah, blah in the world. But if you're still paying me $10,000 less than a white woman and $20,000 less than a white man, this is systematic, and we're blaming individuals for so many issues that are actually structural and not personal. So even with this manifestation energy that I'm seeing less, but still seeing it, it's like, okay, but where does the responsibility lie? And using your word, Christina, where is the root? Is the root me? Then I'm gonna do what I got to do. But if the root's not me, you can give me all the spreadsheet formulas in the world. The math ain't gonna math if y'all not paying me. And I live in a place where you need $3,000 for 200 square feet.
Yeah, I agree. And having that knowing is so important. On our live stream, which is called Brown Conversations, our goal at the end of it is, let's talk about all the stuff that's happening, but let's create actionable steps. We did a big campaign for voting. Have you registered to vote? We've talked about voting, I think, for the 6 months up.
We're never gonna stop. They're trying to stop us and take away our right to vote. First of all, why is it an act and not an amendment? But we ain't gonna go there today.
Don't open those cans. But at the end of the day, it's important, like you said, to understand where we as a collective people can then strive to make changes that are above us, really.
I got a little excited. I'm gonna have to have a non-caffeinated tea tonight. I can't get spicy. It's gonna have to be chamomile. Shoot, I think I used the last bag the other day. It's time for groceries, y'all. Focusing on you, building community for those of us who are still working from home. So many of us are in a hybrid situation. So it might be like 2 days at home, 3 days in the office, or reverse. Many of us, depending on, especially because, there's state law versus federal, et cetera, municipal, local, blah, blah. This isn't a civics course by any means. Many of us have been back in the office since June of 2021, maybe? Or I'm trying to think back, June of 2020, some folks started going back to the office, and it was some like ping-ponging between, it's a new strand, it's a mask, no mask, shot, no shot. It's just shenanigans all around, for lack of a spicier word. What does it look like for beautiful brown girls, but also just for folks in general who have done this community online, have tinkered a little bit with in person, but removing that awkwardness of getting back in person with strangers in real life again? Like, have you thought through that? I've thought through it, and I'm giving up, to be honest. And I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna circle back in a little while. But you have this rhythm, and now you got this online rhythm, and now it's like, do I hug the stranger again?
Well, we have been back meeting in person since I want to say August of 2021.
Smaller, it's been different.
Small groups.
Yeah,
we have not grown from small groups. We are still learning as we go too, but we knew that we want to be safe with it. So in areas that we felt that it was comfortable to gather, we of course try to do outdoor spots as much as we can too, but we still want to you still need to touch and feel sometimes, have that in-person connection. So our goal is to consistently stay still meeting in person. For example, January, the whole Omicron came about. We paused brunches.
Tata-cron. We're gonna blink and it's gonna be a new variant again.
Oh, there will be. But even when they have come, we take a step back because the safety, the health of our members are most important to us. And we say, hey, y'all, we have 5 virtual events. We'll see y'all in virtual.
But we will not be in person. Yeah.
We won't be meeting in person. We're back meeting in person now this February, but it's just kind of on a case-by-case basis. But we know the importance of and it's gotten so much better virtually. I feel that now people have been on virtual so long, it is not a hard icebreaker needed. People are just used to it at this point, which makes it so much easier to stay connected. But even in our virtual events, we know it's a lot of people. So we do a lot of breakout rooms to connect them in smaller groups. So they have that opportunity to connect in smaller groups, or if we are meeting in person, it is a small group, but nothing big yet.
I love a breakout group. You all might think that if you met me in person in random, like not an event, I'd be in the middle of the room. I am in the corner watching, okay? It's like, naturally in the middle? No, right. You have to drag me. Oh man. When you just said this idea of and it's not an idea, it's a reality. And I really, really appreciate your integrity of, if we need to go back to virtual, then we'll go back to virtual, and being flexible and honoring our health. Right. I just think about the layers. Individually, I might be able to decide whether or not I'm going to attend something, whether or not I'm going to get the vaccine, whether or not I'm going to wear a mask. That might be an individual choice. But the reality is, if we were to fall ill, even if it has nothing to do with COVID, and it were serious, the way in which Black women are treated in hospitals and in the medical industry, it's like, even if I want to protect you from that.
Yeah, 100%. I want to protect your family. I want to protect you. I want to make sure we all get out of this alive
and well.
Okay. Yeah.
And because I can't assure that any of us are going to have the best care in an emergency situation. Like exactly. you can seek out your primary care doctor, your dentist, your GYN, all those things. Like that could be a strategic find. But when you walk in that emergency room, it's just who's on call. Are you in a teaching hospital? Which neighborhood are you? These are just so y'all know, these are the things that my brain is thinking about when I'm like, I'm not sure that's going to work this time.
Right.
And who doesn't have to think about that?
Right. And it keeps me up at night too. If my team lead was on here, she'll tell you, I talk about people possibly getting sick at a brunch often. And I'm like, that is my worst nightmare. It's just like, I would hate to put someone in a harm's way. So we try to be as careful as possible, making sure that we keep it very small together in an outdoor area. And it is totally okay to come to brunch or not. Some people aren't comfortable yet coming to meet in person. We will consistently have our virtual events in lieu of brunch, just as we can, until we decide, not to, but it's probably here forever at this point.
At this point, I just want y'all to know that pre-COVID, I traveled for work 2 to 3 times a month. And I'm just convinced the recycled air on the planes just get me sick. So I was wearing a mask for on them flights early on.
Oh my gosh.
Because when you travel for work, everyone thinks it's like this sexy affair. No, you land, you get to the hotel, you often wake up the very next day and you're working. Like I'm not experiencing the land. I'm going to the building that I'm doing whatever in. So I remember when it all went down, I already had like 10 masks. I was like, oh, I'm straight. And then I realized, I don't need more masks at this point because we're still home. But I'm looking at time, the way in which time goes when you don't want it to go versus when 10 minutes feels like 3 hours in other contexts, when you're like, I just want to get out of here. And it's kind of like, nope.
This has been a great conversation. I enjoy all that you do with Real Brown Girls. And it's funny, when we connected because it was Beautiful Brown Girls. And then I saw Real Brown Girls and I was like, I gotta know who this is. We need to connect. Who is this? I'm like, she's on the same wavelength as me. I love this.
I've adored you this entire time. I'm going to go into the old email address and like search your name, and I'm going to find the date, because now I just want to know. How long has it been? In one day, I keep having guests on the show that I've known for years that I've never been in the same state with at the same time, much less like the same room, just to poke you. I'm a hugger. So just so you know, when we finally do get to be in the same room, I'm liable to jump on you. So if you have boundaries, you need to let me know in advance.
It's okay.
Because it's that I'm liable to jump on you and scream in your ear.
It's been long enough.
Honestly, how do folks stay in contact with you? How do they, if they're not ready to join yet? You know, sometimes it takes people a while to watch and feel and participate in a couple things before they join. How can we stay connected to all things Christina and all things Beautiful Brown Girls?
You can stay connected through our website. So at beautifulbrowngirls.com, you can sign up to our email list, and that will keep you informed of all the events we have. Not all the events are just paid membership events. We do have a lot of free events that you can attend at your leisure as well too. You can, on our website, there's an events tab that gives you the details of all the events we do, generally around, and this is a mix between in-person and in virtual. We do generally around 35 events a month.
Oh,
so there's just
intense. You put
it's a lot. So there's the opportunity. Take advantage of it. But all of that is on our website, or you can follow us on social. We're Beautiful Brown Girls on Facebook and Beautifully Shaded on Instagram. And that is how you can stay connected with me, as well as all of our amazing team members at Beautiful Brown Girls. I love working with all of our team members because they all have the same mission of sisterhood and wanting women of color to win. And I love that. I love that for us.
I mean, all we got is us sometimes. What do people say? We all we got.
Sometimes it's true.
We got. I just threw back into the chat the link if you want to come and watch Sable figure out how to do something different to her eyebrows other than take the little pencil and fill in the back half, because that's truly all I know. That's all I know how to do
too. But the brow expert, Miss Kim Roxy, she is going to walk us through everything, and she's so amazing. Like, it's a very interactive, fun discussion
with mustard size seed faith on like my eyebrow execution.
It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Please do join us for sure.
If you have availability that afternoon, you don't have anything planned, come bring a friend so y'all can make fun of my eyebrows at the end together with my before and after. This has been such a good time. An hour always goes by when it's good energy and good people. And again, it doesn't feel like 45 hours in 33 days because that happens too, but not with you folks. It has been an absolute blast. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. For those of you who are on the West Coast, it's officially 5 p.m. now, so it's early evening. I need you to do a few things for me before you lay down tonight. I need you to make sure you have dinner if you have not eaten already. And I need you to hydrate, because this is not even about skin glowing. This is about flushing the toxins seen and unseen out of your body. And I need you to tell yourself, even if it was a good day, even if it was a great day, or it wasn't the best of days, you gave it the best that you could. I hope to see you next month for the Sis Talk Show. We will be talking all things motherhood and money with Dr. Nicole Gardner-Scott. And I will see you all next time. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Good night, ladies.
Christina, don't leave. I need to re-record that beginning. Okay, dun, dun, dun. We're almost, folks have almost left to go do their thing. Did you have dinner beforehand?
I'll get there. Story of my life.
I didn't have dinner either, not yet. I found like a little piece of chicken breast.
My poor child. I put a dinner plate in the microwave. I'm like, when you're ready, just put the button. She's fine. She can do it herself.
All right. I moved them to the waiting room because sometimes like people walk away and do things, and I don't want to wait for them to leave. Okay, so I closed that. So I think you were right at the end of your intro when I realized I didn't hit the record button. Usually I record as soon as the person joins, so it's just there, but
it's okay. I'm just introducing myself.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pretend that I'm starting the show, and then I'll kick it to you, and then we'll be done. And then the editing will do its thing afterwards.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's pretend there's a director and action. Hi everyone, I am Sable B, founder and creator of Real Brown Girls. I know I say this every month, but seriously, I am so excited for tonight's episode where we talk all things community in person. No, that messed it up. All right, here we go. Hi everyone, I am Sable B, pronouns are she and her, founder and creator of Real Brown Girls. I am so excited for tonight's show, the Sis Talk Show, with our guest Christina, where we are going to be talking about all things community, online, and in real life. Christina, I have your bio, I would read it, but I just want you to introduce yourself how you want to be introduced.
Awesome. Well, for folks who do not know who I am, my name is Christina Duren. I am the CEO and founder of Beautiful Brown Girls. Beautiful Brown Girls is an in real life and virtual community for women of color. And our mission is to create unique experiences, to create authentic and genuine friendships, sister circles, and professional and personal growth as an act of self-care. That's what we do.
Let's just dive right in.
Yeah.
And cut. This is what's annoying about virtual.
Well, you're sophisticated because I don't even do any of this. I'm like, I missed it.
Well, I'm trying to do slightly better this year, and there's someone who now like edits, so I'll be like, good luck. And I'll send it to them.
It's so funny. I will literally just download what we have, upload it, and like send out a Dropbox link. Ladies, here it is. Here's the replay. Sorry, guys. Which I need to do better too. I do.
Granted, you have folks who are helping with the events and all that stuff, but with the amount that happens each month, you're still like making sure your team are doing what they need to do. I download and upload that joint too. I feel like we do 3 to 4 things a month. So I feel like I need to give you a little bit of zhuzh for those 4 things because you're not getting more out of me.
That's it. I got you.
That's it. So I'm going to try and make it as cute as I can make it.
I love it.
You ain't get,
when you get the replay, send it to me because I will also post it in our members community for those who may have missed it. I'll send it to.
I will. Well, it's time for you to go have dinner. This is have fun. We're just gonna have to like plan a thing that has nothing to do with this thing because at this rate, I already got gray hair, but at this rate, I'll be retiring and we'll still be like, well, remember when?
It's gonna happen. This COVID thing is thrown a wrench in all kinds of travel, but I for sure know it will happen soon.
It will happen. Thank you. I'm telling you, these eyebrows on this makeup class.
I'll see you on the 26th.
I'll see you in the double J's.
Bye.
Good night.